The Bible is full of stories of bravery. There are accounts of people who exhibited uncommon courage in the face of danger. But have you ever wondered who these brave individuals were? Most of us have heard about the likes of Noah, Abraham, Moses, Joshua, and David. But how many of us can recall the names of the very first man and woman created by God? How many of us can name the judges that delivered Israel during the period of the Old Testament? The truth is, most of us don't know much about the unsung heroes of the Bible. Join me today as we look at 4 unsung heroes of the Bible you probably never knew. Number 1, Jethro. Jethro was the father-in-law of Moses. He was a priest of Midian and the man whom Moses served for several years, as a shepherd after he fled Egypt for killing an Egyptian taskmaster who was beating an Israelite. When Jethro heard all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, he blessed Moses and gave him his daughter Sephora as a wife. Later, when Israel complained bitterly about everything they endured in Egypt, Jethro told Moses to teach them how to worship God. He also gave Moses wise counsel, telling him to select capable men and put them in positions of authority over the people. This advice helped Moses to establish the foundations of the government under which Israel was able to prosper during their wilderness journey. Number 2, Joseph. Joseph was the most popular of Jacob's 12 sons. His 11 brothers sold him into slavery in Egypt out of jealousy and hatred. But through a series of divine appointments, Joseph ended up serving in the court of Pharaoh, eventually becoming prime minister of Egypt. When a severe famine struck the whole region, Joseph used his wisdom and knowledge of the land to store grain. He then sold grain to the surrounding nations, including his own family, who came to Egypt to buy food. Although his brothers had intended to harm him, God caused all things to work together for good, and Joseph became a blessing not only for himself and his family, but also for the whole world. Number 3, Ruth. The story of Ruth is a beautiful account of loyalty and faithfulness. Ruth was the wife of Boaz. When Naomi returned to Bethlehem with her 2 daughters-in-law after her husband and sons died in Moab, where they had been living, Orpah decided to return to her people, but Ruth was determined to stay with Naomi. Unfazed by the fact that she was a foreigner without any security or financial stability, Ruth said to Naomi, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from following you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." Ruth 1:16, NIV. Ruth's decision to stay with Naomi and serve the God of Israel led to her becoming an ancestor of King David, and ultimately Jesus Christ. 4. Esther. Esther is one of the most fascinating characters in the Bible. She was a young Jewish girl living in the ancient Persian Empire who became the queen of the empire by default. When the evil Haman plotted to annihilate all the Jews, Esther risked her life and revealed her Jewish identity to King Artaxerxes, who was her husband. Because of her courage, Haman's plot was uncovered and the Jews were saved. In the book of Esther, we see God working behind the scenes through ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things. Just as Joseph was sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, but God used that situation to save his family and the whole nation of Israel from starvation. Likewise, God used Esther, who was placed in the palace by default, to save his people from destruction. These are just 4 examples of the many unsung heroes of the Bible. These individuals did not necessarily perform extraordinary miracles or have a profound theological understanding. They were ordinary people who trusted and obeyed God, and because of their faith, they accomplished something extraordinary. It is important to remember these individuals, not only because they serve as an example for us of what it means to live a life of faith, but also because they remind us that God can and will use anyone who trusts in Him to accomplish His purposes. Which of these Bible heroes do you find the most inspiring? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to learn more about other unsung heroes of the Bible, I would recommend reading the Book of Judges. Until next time.